Y'all, so about 5, 6 years ago, I lost 120 pounds. I had the gastric sleeve. I lost 126 pounds. 23 pounds. Over the course of the last 5, 6 years, I have gained 100 pounds back. And while there were moments where I was understandably bothered by that weight gain, let me tell you one of the reasons why I am happy that in this season I gained that weight back. So, just for a little backstory, I was big all my life. Um, I'm used to being plus size. I was always big. I was always one of the heaviest people in class. Always the big friend, the funny big one. You know. So, I spent most of my life being bullied, and it eventually grew into this place of self-hatred where I literally hated myself. I remember when I was about eight. I thought I was regular. I thought I was normal. Life felt normal. I never felt different at home. I only knew that I was different because of things that would happen at school, right? So I was getting bullied. I mean, when I tell y'all they was calling me everything but a child of God, okay? So they was calling me everything but a child of God. I was getting bullied down, and it caused me to see myself differently. It caused me to hate myself. It caused me to see all of my inadequacies, all of my flaws. It brought me to this space where I was like, I begin to not want to live anymore. It just was a whole thing. I felt like every issue that was in my life because I was fat. So this led me to years, and I mean, up until adulthood, of hating myself. There would be seasons where I was kind of like okay with myself, but to be honest, it was just pretty consistent where I just did not love myself. I loved my attributes, I loved my personality, but when it came to physically, the way I looked physically, I hated myself. And after a while, when you begin to be the laughing stock enough, you start to become your biggest bully. You start to believe all of the lies, believe the things that people have said about you, and you become that you become your new bully. Because I'm going to say it to me before you get the chance to say it to me. I'm going to joke on myself before you joke on me. I'm going to pretend like what you're saying does not hurt my feelings. So I started doing that. I found myself just really hating myself. And I was so rude to myself for years. No matter what people saw or would say about me, I did not believe anything was good about me. Um, don't get me started on going to the stores, not being able to find clothes that fit me. Most people that are male and big, they have really big stomachs and they're small everywhere else. I happen to be very hippie and have shape because I got that literally from my mom and my dad. Anyway, so I came to this point where I was no longer okay with looking at myself in the mirror. I would cry every time I looked in the mirror. No lie. Every time I looked in the mirror, I would begin to cry. I remember coming home from school one day after being bullied, and I was just screaming in the mirror, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. And my mom came home from work, and she just heard me in the bathroom screaming, I hate you. And she found a way to get into the locked door. And at this point, she's crying because why is her 10-year-old son in the bathroom screaming about how much he hates himself? And that was the moment when my whole life began to change. I no longer considered there to be any value or self-worth to myself. So we fast forward into adulthood, and I lose 120 pounds after being treated like I'm nothing my whole life, except for when I'm showing people a talent or a skill. So I'm in my 20s now. I done lost 120 pounds. I'm feeling like the fiest thing out here because I was. But one of the things that hurt my feelings the most is that I began to love that version of myself when I realized I am literally the same person. The only thing that changed is the clothes that I can fit. The only thing that changed is I'm a little more physically active. I can do more than I've ever been able to do. But I deserved that same amount of love that I showed that skinny version of me. I deserved that same amount of love at my heaviest weight. And so, though I was happy with this new person that I had become, I began to feel so bad for the John that I hated for so many years. And it's like everybody can talk about what it's like to lose weight, but if you've never been heavy and then lost a lot of weight, you don't understand. But mentally, there's this part of you that is like, oh my God, it's a whole new world. I'm a whole new person. And then there's a part of you that's like, I'm literally the same exact person. Now that I love myself a little more and respect myself a little more, people are doing it. And I asked myself, who are they to treat me different? But the real question was, who was I? Who was I to love myself more because I was more socially acceptable? You know? And so after this time spending having lost and gained weight and been on this up and down roller coaster for some years now, I'm grateful that I gained this weight because this is the first time that I can say that while I'm not at my heaviest, I'm definitely not at my lowest. This is the most that I can say that I have loved myself at being heavy. I think even growing up plus size, your whole family treats you like it's a problem. I remember we would have Thanksgivings and the whole family would be discussing me needing to lose weight or how many push-ups can I do, or they'll give me cookies if I can do this amount of push-ups. At the family table, we're talking about whole family here now. And so it's not uncommon for a plus size person who's been plus size all their life to think that they are a walking problem. And if I could encourage anybody on a weight loss journey right now, I want to tell you, you are not a problem. You are not a problem. Lose weight because you want to be healthy. Lose weight because you want to be more mobile. Lose weight because you want to give yourself a life that you've only dreamed of. But don't lose weight because you're trying to find a way to love yourself. If you don't love yourself in the 300s, baby, you're really not going to love yourself at the 150s with the loose skin and clothes fit now. But at the end of the day, you are still the same person. The things that have to happen have to change in your soul and not just physically. And that's one of the things that I had to learn is that if my outside world changes, but my inside world does not, nothing really has shifted. So I said all that to say, for those of us that are in this new year and we're like, hey, I want to get this weight off of me, I just want to encourage you, slow down and love yourself at this season. Take your health journey serious. Do whatever you need to do so that you can feel like the best version of you. But what I need you to do is love yourself right where you are. Make the standard and the bar so high for all of those around you that everyone has to come up to where you are. And they have to love you well in order to be able to stand in this community around you. Because you have lifted a standard, okay?